There's a new publisher out there who is promising to upset the book market next year by publishing 8,000 titles. Now, I'm not going to tell you this publisher's name or provide you a link because they're planning to do so using AI. You see, via their business model, people who have an idea, I guess, will be able to use their AI software to generate an entire book complete with cover in just seconds. Now, there are countless articles and videos out there that can tell you all the reasons that using generative AI this way is a bad thing. It exists by training an algorithm based on the work of real writers and artists without their consent. It's a creatively bankrupt process that turns out bland, regurgitated products. It uses an ungodly amount of water in the cooling process for the computers. It lowers your gas mileage. It's not gluten-free, and it makes ponies not like you. But you already know all that, and if that hasn't persuaded you, then nothing I'm going to say will. So how about this as a reason not to use this service? They are charging you $5,000 to create your book with their program. Let's take just a moment to think about all the other things you could purchase for $5,000. 5,000 iced teas at McDonald's, 2,500 Powerball tickets, 1,000 comic books, 3.5 college textbooks. Or you could use that money and hire an actual human artist to create your cover. Hire an actual human editor to help punch up your writing. And then you could go through the process of self-publishing like so many of us do. It may take a little longer, sure, but you'll actually have done something. AI wonks love to call those of us against this use of AI ableist, as if there's never been anybody with any sort of impairment that's ever made a great work of writing or music or art. Somebody please get Ray Charles, Stephen Hawking, John Milton, Beethoven, and Helen Keller on the phone. What? All of them? Can you get me Stevie Wonder then? The only thing ableist about rejecting AI is a belief that you actually have to put the work in to create art, and that process is where real art actually comes from. If I had used AI to write the Little Stars trilogy when I was working on it, I could have punched in the outline into ChatGPT or some other such program, and it would have given me something, but I would have lost so much in the process. Carry On Hall, for example. He's a character who never appeared in any of the planning stages, any of the outlining, any of the notes that I did for this book. I created him just because I needed a character for the main characters, Andy and Tony, to have to talk around during their high school chemistry class. They needed a lab partner who didn't know all of their secrets to make it a little more difficult for them to have a conversation. But something about Carry On just dug into me. He was supposed to be your typical dumb jock, but very, very quickly, he showed me that he wasn't. He turned out to be incredibly brave and loyal, and he demanded my attention. He had a whole life of his own, and now I cannot imagine this book existing without him in it. He became so lifelike, it was almost like having another child, although Carry On eats slightly less string cheese. Before long, he was my favorite character in the entire book, and he's going to be a vital player in the last two parts of the trilogy. None of that happens if I had used AI. The creation process is what makes the art worth doing. If you're actually considering using AI to make a book, a process which I find as morally reprehensible as using a small child as a golf club to beat up a small dog, at least do yourself the favor of not giving these AI bros your money. You can do it yourself just as terribly as they can. And if you do decide to do that, well, I'm not mad at you. I'm just very disappointed.